Under the sound of Mookie's Blues, it's the show right here on Shaw TV, episode 159, the 6th episode of season number 8 of this program. Our musical guest right in behind me, Mr. Marty Steele. This man of steel is certainly a superman when it comes to composing and performing. He's a wonderful talent on the piano. We're going to hear some songs and find out about some noteworthy gigs, later on this hour. Anyhow, speaking of superheroes, what other event could possibly be held on May the 4th other than Curious ComiCon 2019? Because May the 4th be with you, of course. Anyways, we're going to meet some of the heroes behind Curious Comic-Con on today's show. They are aware that the fantastic 4th date is not just an X factor towards the success of the event. Anyways, we're also going to highlight the upcoming Nanaimo Gem and Mineral Show. I'm going to need a drink when I'm there because Amethysty guy. Anyhow, for those fans of hitting the greens, the bowling greens, the Nanaimo Lawn Bowling Club is hosting a provincial lawn bowling championship in July. And we're also going to find out about a very cool opportunity for girls and women to try ice hockey for the first time, for free. And also, as part of that session, if you shoot the puck the length of the ice, well, that's the icing on the cake. It's the icing on the cake. When the hockey playoffs started this week, I gotta go. Anyhow, it was part of our recurring Seniors Connect series. We're also going to discuss an age-friendly business accreditation program. This will recognize the businesses that demonstrate best practice in serving our community. But first, in celebration of Volunteer Appreciation Week, we're going to start with a discussion on volunteerism through the lens of a Nanaimo organization that knows a little more about volunteering than anyone else here in Nanaimo. So this is it for me. I'm not going to volunteer any more opinions for you. Let's get started on the show on Shaw.
Back in the 60s, we had a saying which goes, you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And we won't talk about the people that are part of the problem, but we will talk about tonight the people that are part of the solution or people that want to be part of the solution. So tonight I have with me Marjorie Driscoll and Rena Inamorati, representatives of Volunteer Nanaimo, whose job is to engage the energies of such people. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very good of you to join me. So how does Volunteer Nanaimo do that? How do you find these people that want to be part of the solution and engage their energies? How do you do that?
Well, one of the things I think that it's important to know that people want to make a difference in the community. They want to volunteer. So what Volunteer Nanaimo does actually is we are the people that go out and ask. We go out and ask and give them ideas on how they can volunteer. So one of the things that we do on a regular basis is we're putting in the newspaper a variety of different volunteer needs by nonprofit organizations so that people can kind of peruse those and see if they find something that piques their interest.
So Rita, you're one of the directors of this organization. Do you get a lot of response by doing this?
Well, we really don't know what the response to that is because those volunteers would actually contact the organizations directly. But one of the things we do at Volunteer Nanaimo is we get a lot of interest in people who want to volunteer but can't really make that commitment 4 hours a week, 8 hours a week, whatever it is for the organization that they want to do. So what we do is we have a special events contact list. And people that want to sign up that they do want to volunteer. So we have about 380, I think, people on the volunteer list, and every week we email all those people with special events that are coming up. So if they do happen to have a Saturday free or a Thursday night or whatever's coming up, we send that information to them so that they can contact those people and do a little bit of volunteering. Because you really do find that most people want to volunteer, they just don't know where to go.
Yeah. Well, this is your job, and by the sound of it, you're doing a great job. What are some of the services that the volunteers engage their energies in? Tell me.
One of the things to understand, there are like 800 nonprofit organizations in Nanaimo alone. So there's lots of opportunities out there for people to volunteer. It's mainly figuring out what you want to do. So with that in mind, we just try to make sure we're getting the information out there so that they can decide what's going to be fun for me, what am I going to enjoy. And so we have a website that provides a lot of information around volunteering. And we also try to work with organizations as well as working with businesses that want to get their the people that are working for them engaged in the community as well. So we help them set up some special projects and things like that so that they can make a difference.
Well, I understand you've got a special youth project in the works. Could you talk a little bit about that?
We are so excited about that because that's something that just happened just recently. And it's an island-wide project. So there's 5 different nonprofit volunteer centers that are working on this project. And so it is designed to get youth from age 15 to 29 involved in community. And what's so neat about this is that the projects are designed to help them really get their teeth into doing something. So they're going to have brainstorming sessions, they're going to be sitting down, working out what they would like to do, and then implementing.
Can we talk a little bit about the impact? Like the volunteers are out there, they're doing their work, and they're doing some good value out there, but I'm sure that they're receiving something too. Can we talk a little bit about that, Rita? What do the volunteers get back?
Well, I think everybody gets something back. There's a real feeling, good feeling, right? The good feeling of helping somebody out. But I think there's a lot of things. With the young people, it's really a boost of self-esteem. They get involved with things so that they get to meet other people. For a lot of volunteers, we work with different agencies around people who are going back to work, back into the workforce. And volunteer work is definitely a great stepping stone for that. Job skill building, getting some experience of being back out in the public. And I think it's not just that, I think it's for all kinds of people. That's the great thing about volunteering is anyone can volunteer. You don't have to have special skills, you don't have to have a certain level of education to start out, which is why we're really trying to promote youth volunteers, but we also do people with special needs, right? Special needs volunteers.
We were saying that the youth, particularly there's some benefits for the youth. It increases their self-esteem. These are important things for them too.
Absolutely. We have gone through a period of where youth used to be able to get jobs at Tim Hortons and McDonald's, and it was kind of like their first jobs. And we have a lot of adults that are doing that right now, and so therefore they're not having that opportunity where they can go out and prove themselves. By volunteering, you have someone that says this is going to be a person that is going to be a very good employee.
Well, I understand this is Volunteer Week, so this is appropriate that you're here. I very much want to thank you both for coming. If people want to get a hold of you, how would they get a hold of you? If they want to volunteer, how would they do that?
Well, there's several ways they can do that. The quickest way is to give us a phone call at 250-758-7121. And then they could also go on our website.
And I'm going to throw it over to Jane Vinet and the Nanaimo Gem and Mineral Show.
Thank you so much, Louis. We all know volunteers rock. But did you know that one of the most expensive rocks in the world are not diamonds, but they're a product called jadeite. And jadeite, which comes from jade, actually is worth $3 million per carat. So when you're out walking on the beach and you're picking up stones that look like this, how do you know when a rock is more than a rock? Today my guest is Barbara Krieber, who is the host of the upcoming Nanaimo Gem and Mineral Show and also the owner of Two Girls Rock. Welcome, Barbara.
Thanks for having me, Jane. I am one of the girls from Two Girls Rocks. My partner is Julia Muhart, but she's working tonight, and we're really happy to be here.
Oh, wonderful. So you were explaining to me earlier that, we go out onto the beaches locally, and we go out and we see something that looks like this. And at first, it doesn't look all that extraordinary. So what am I looking at here, Barbara?
This is a Vancouver Island rock, and it's called Flowerstone. And my husband and I found that on the beaches near Campbell River. My husband is the avid rock hounder in the family, Ron Krieber. So I follow him along, and I try to outdo him, but he always finds the good stuff. And this is one of the rocks we found.
Now, are they normally this big, or they come in all different sizes?
They come in all sizes.
Okay. And then so once I go out and I pick myself a whole bunch of these pretty ordinary looking rocks, what is the next step? What's the evolution?
Well, I'm a member of the Port Alberni Lapidary Club, and what lapidary members do, they can either have their own equipment or they can become members of a club, and it's a little cheaper that way to rent the equipment. So basically, a lapidary person would slice this up into slabs.
Okay.
Okay. And then they would pick the best spots, and they would make a cabochon.
Okay. Now this is a really beautiful stone. So obviously a lot of work has gone from taking this to this. So what would I typically use a cabochon for?
Generally, this here would be made into a necklace to be worn.
Okay. And, oh look, the magic of television. We just happen to have one
We're
right
correct.
here. So this is a really beautiful piece. So tell me a little bit about this piece.
This is a piece of Vancouver Island flower stone, which has been shaped into and made into a beautiful heart. And this one is made by Biba Adams in Campbell River Club.
Okay.
And then Biba also, she drilled a hole in the top.
Okay.
So she took it from there to there to there, and then she added a cord.
All right.
So ready to wear.
It's an incredible process when you think about it. Now, when we looked at this particular thing, when you gave this to me to look at, I was not really all that excited, and I thought I'd probably overlook this rock if I were out walking around. Then when we do this, what am I holding in my hand?
That's a piece of rhodonite, and it's probably from Salt Spring Island.
Okay. And is this a valuable rock at all?
I really like it. It's not, it's a semi-precious, but it makes into some pretty spectacular jewelry.
Okay, so once you, again, you would use your special machines and your rock polishers and your saws, and so show us what we can get from that.
We would get a shape.
Okay.
This is just something that's made into a shape by cutting and grinding and polishing.
Okay. And then when you're ready to turn it into a piece of jewelry.
Right. And this is a beautiful heart, and this one has been made by Sharon Hubbard, a beautiful lapidary artist out of the Courtney area. And she's taken silver and she's wire wrapped it so that it can hang as a pendant.
Wow, it's really a gorgeous piece. Now tell me a little bit about the upcoming Nanaimo Gem and Mineral Show that's going to be held in Nanaimo.
Our third annual show is coming up in May, and it's going to be at the Legion 256, 1630 East Wellington Road off of Bowen, across from Quarterway School. And we're having it on the Saturday and the Sunday. May 25th is from 10 to 5. May 26th is from 10 to 4.
Now, who goes to a gem and mineral show?
I think that gem and mineral shows are great for families. The kids really enjoy the rocks. We have free crafts for them. They can design and craft rocks. So
and who doesn't love something with googly eyes, right?
Exactly, and my granddaughter runs that booth.
Now, but the real pièce de résistance is this, which, I mean, it's kind of a cool looking rock, but not something I'd be writing home about. So what am I looking at here, Barbara?
This is a geode, and this one was found in Brazil.
Okay.
So it would be a big, massive thing, and somebody has cut it, and look at this.
Wow, and now what are we looking at inside this geode?
We're looking at amethyst quartz crystal.
Okay.
Which is just absolutely gorgeous.
And that you would make a variety of jewelry out of this.
Amethyst is very popular.
And very precious stone. It's quite lovely, right?
Yes, it is.
And what makes this so spectacular, this particular geode?
Well, you can attend our show, and you could win it for nothing just by attending our show.
All right.
So we're pretty excited about that.
That is. I mean, what a great way to start your collection, right?
Oh,
so I just wanted to ask you, what is the most expensive rock you've ever found?
Well, I'd say my engagement ring.
And I believe it. But thank you so much. I really enjoyed learning so much about the rocks today, Barbara. Thank you very, very much. And now we're going to learn a little bit about throwing a different kind of rock with Vanessa Purdy.
Thanks for that, Jane. You're a true gem. I'm very excited to have with me a couple of folks from the Nanaimo Lawn Bowling Club. Tonight we've got Bernice Urbaniak and Frances Tester. Bernice is the president of the club, and Frances is the games director. It's Let's welcome ladies. Thanks for joining us in the studio tonight.
Thanks for having us.
I understand you have just begun a brand new season at the club.
We're just about to start. In fact, we're starting with open houses for the next 3 Saturday afternoons, where we're inviting anybody and everybody who would like to learn how to lawn bowl to come and give it a try. It doesn't cost anything. You just come on over, and we'll set you up with either a coach or somebody who knows the game quite well to show you the basics. And if you like it, we can even set you up with a free lesson.
That's great. That's a no cost and no obligation commitment happening for the next 3 Saturdays, the 13th, 20th, and the 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the club. And the club is located at 500 Bowen Road in Bowen Park, for those of you that don't know. So what does it look like for a person once they come and try it out at the club?
Well, once they try it out and they want to sign up for lessons, the first one, like I said, is free, and after that we'll charge $10 for the next 3 lessons. And if after they want to sign up as a member, then that $10 gets reduced from their membership fee, which is $130 for the whole season, which is really a very inexpensive way to get a lot of good activity and fresh air over the summer months.
How long does the season run?
It starts this weekend, basically, and it runs until the end of September.
Excellent. So other than lessons and your open houses, what else do you have happening this season that is very exciting?
Well, at the club, just at our club alone, we have at least 25 tournaments that will happen throughout the week, each weekend through the season. And anyone that's a club member can enter those tournaments. Okay. Most of them are just a one-day tournament. We also have across the North Island open tournaments where we invite other clubs to come and bowl at our club, and they run on a 2-day basis on the Saturday and the Sunday. On a weekly basis, you can bowl at our club just about every day throughout the week. The only day that we're not allowed to bowl is on Mondays, because that's when our volunteer guys, look after the green. And everything that happens at Nanaimo Lawn Bowling Club is what makes it happen are the volunteers. We have men who look after the greens. We have ladies and men who coach, who run the games committees, who run the kitchen. It's a team effort from everybody, and it just works really well. And it has a huge social side to it as well. After we finish playing, we play.
We play. We have some photos to look at. Why don't we go ahead and have a look at those photos?
Well, that's an overview of our green and the clubhouse in the background. And as you can see, there's an umpire there as well in the red shirt. Because every time there's a tournament, we do need to have an umpire on board. And this is one of our open houses, one of our experienced bowlers showing the good form. And that's a fun thing that we do every so often. This is from the Flamingo, which we also have a vision impaired program. And just to say a little bit more about that, this is just a social event now that we have at Christmas time. This is one of our younger members who is now, I think, in probably her 2nd or 3rd year as a member. And she's about 9 or 10. I'm not sure how old she is now. And her older brother is also a member. And it's kind of a family thing because their mother is a member. And we do want to encourage families, to come and make this a family sport. It's a great way to enjoy time together and have an intergenerational way to interact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the VIP program for a moment.
Yes, that picture you saw was one of our Canadian champions. His name is Gus Thorne. And he competed in the Worlds in South Africa a couple of years ago. He is totally vision impaired. He has no sight whatsoever. And the way it works with our vision impaired bowlers is they each have a director/coach who gives them verbal instructions and lets them know exactly how far they have to roll the bowl in order for it to get to the jack. And it's amazing how they are able to accomplish what they do accomplish. We've had several of our vision impaired bowlers attend the Worlds now, so it's quite a great program, and they will actually have an open house for vision impaired themselves on the 14th of May, and I believe it starts at 9:30 in the morning.
Excellent. We're wrapping up out of time here. I wish we had so much more time to talk about this, but for those of you that want more information, you can go to their website at nanaimolawnbowling.com, or you can send them an email at nanaimolbc@gmail.com and check out all the different social engagement opportunities that they have going on for you.
They're also on Facebook.
They're also on Facebook, Nanaimo Lawn Bowling Club, NLBC. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm going to throw it back over to Marty Steele.
keyboard work by Marty Steele, who just performed Stormhead for us. A great Nanaimo musician. We're so lucky to be here, all of us volunteers today during Volunteer Week. I'm Joanne Hogan, and I have a delightful interview coming your way. And this is with the folks who are going to be participating, and I just want to make sure I say it correctly, at Curious ComiCon.
Curious ComiCon.
So I'm going to present the alter egos first. Ari, Melissa, and Jared. And then we'll get to talk about both these people, and other people will talk in their place about this wonderful event and what is the culture of Comic-Con. So I thought that first of all with Ari, we could talk about the event that's coming up.
Yeah, so this is our 4th year, Curious Comic-Con on May 4th. Started out as Free Comic Book Day, which is over every comic book store. Okay, it's everywhere. But what we've done with ours is we've made it into a con, so a Comic-Con convention.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it's free as opposed to going to Fan Expo and paying an entry fee. So not only are you getting free comic books, but you're also getting an amazing experience with such amazing cosplay artists as these and many other things.
Yes, and so it's going to be held at what location?
Country Club Mall, because that's where Curious Comics is.
Okay.
And so it will be from 10 until 5:30 on Saturday, May 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, May the 4th be with you. Yeah, there we go.
Now you've got to be able to remember it with that, eh?
Yes.
May the 4th be with you. Very well chosen date.
Thank you.
So we'll talk a little bit more about it at the end of the interview.
Sure.
So now, Melissa is also known as Queen Elsa. So Queen Elsa is also known as the hashtag Princess of West.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Amongst all your characters. Can you tell me more as a newbie to this whole culture, what exactly you do?
Honestly, a bit of everything. I started out buying cosplays online. So Comic-Con, going to these kind of events, you wear costumes. It's for fun. It's to become characters you love. You can compare it to something as similar as wearing your favorite jersey and painting your face to go to like a football game or to the hockey game. It's kind of a similar comparison. So you just have fun and be the characters you want to be. A lot of people sew their own costumes, do their own wigs, do like prosthetics, like these incredible like makeup, like movie prosthetics and stuff.
So I take it this beautiful wig that you're wearing is one of yours that
yes,
you've crafted?
I did stylist myself.
Okay.
Bought some cute little buttons on Etsy and just glued them to bobby pins and stuff. Good old Superstore sweater, printed on there and comfy, easy.
And you were telling me prior to taping that you've been involved with workshops, presenting workshops to people who want to develop different parts of becoming costume people at these Comic-Cons. Yes.
That's a big part of conventions nowadays is to do a lot of like community events like that is working on wigs. So I do a lot of wig events like that, teaching people how to clean them and maintain them, style them. People do like seamstress work and making your own patterns. Because a lot of costumes, like I don't think I could go buy a pattern to make this. I just don't think that's realistic. So there's a lot of stuff to like learn how to make armor and stuff like that too.
Exactly.
So it's
and you were talking about positivity and body image and that as
absolutely.
you
Cosplaying is about being comfortable, being yourself, and being with new friends, old friends, and just being happy.
Well, I can't see how you can be unhappy at an event like that. And the strong silent type over there, that is Jared, but today we're only supposed to refer to him as a Mandalorian from Star Wars. And I can speak on his behalf very quickly here. He's one of 8 official BC members of the Mandalorian Club. And it's got international status with thousands of members throughout the world. And the local club is raising money. It invites people to have their pictures taken with a character such as the Mandalorian you see here. And with the money, they support the Children's Hospital, the Canucks Place Hospice, and to get involved with the Variety Club Telethon. So great work on your part too. And coming back to you, Ari, you also are doing some fundraising for this event.
Yeah, so with Curious Comic-Con, because it's free, we like to encompass like the community. So this year our charity of choice was Big Brothers Big Sisters. So we have a large silent auction where the artists in Artist Alley donate items, and we have other sponsors that donate items from the community to raise money for the Big Brothers Big Sisters. This year we chose Big Brothers Big Sisters. Last year we had the the children's wish, and we were able to grant a wish last year, which was really amazing.
Special?
Yeah,
Yes,
so that
yes.
was really awesome.
In the context of Comic-Con, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Eh?
So this event is amazing because it has gaming demos, we have comic vendors, we have geek chic vendors, we have cosplay artists, we have the 501st coming, the Mandalorian's coming.
Cosplay artists of the highest caliber.
Yes. We have the VR-cade coming. We have the cosplay contest. We have free comic books because it's Free Comic Book Day. There's just so many things about this event that's awesome. And again, it's free. So,
well, your enthusiasm is really infectious. I'm really impressed with the presentations that you folks have made and how you dress up for the occasion.
Thanks.
And I wish you the best. Again, CosmiCon, May the 4th be with you.
Curious Comic-Con, May the 4th.
Okay, and now I'm going to throw it to Matt, and he's going to interview the great musician Marty Steele.
Thank you very, very much, Joanne. Also to our stand-up comic citizens. Again, if you're having a dearth of fun in your lives or just want a TIE Fighter one on, head on down to Curious Comic-Con. I went last year. I highly, highly recommended. Lots of great fun at Country Club Center. Thanks again to all the organizers for putting that on. All right, now very excited to chat, as Joanne mentioned, with a return guest to the show, a very outstanding composer, performer, both as a solo artist and within ensembles. Very lucky to have him here in Nanaimo, Mr. Marty Steele. Welcome back to the show on Shaw.
Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you. Thank you.
So before we talk about music, now off the air, we're both a bit of sports fans here, and now we're in the midst of the NHL playoffs. All right, who you got? Who you got?
Started tonight. Well, I'll say one thing. In order to be the champion, it's not the skill that does it, but it's your mental toughness and character in tough situations and taking advantage of the opportunities that present to you in order to become a champion. And if you want to be a champion, you got to beat the champions. So, saying that, in the West, I really think Calgary has a good shot because they have that toughness of character. But I think the team that's going to give them a run for their money are once again the Golden Knights.
Now, I know our Shaw bosses at Calgary love to hear the first part, but yeah, Vegas is looking pretty good for you.
Well, it's going to be stiff competition. And then in the East, everything runs through Tampa Bay, but I have a strange feeling they're going to suffer the same fate that Vancouver did in 2011.
It sure has a lot of similarities, that's for sure.
Yes, it does. A great team in the regular season. Let's see what happens. My dark horse is playing tonight, the New York Islanders.
Not too shabby. Barry Trotz and the crew. I've got to say, state on the record, I'm cheering for Winnipeg and Toronto. So, which was only just to get some applause from our director over there. So. All right, switching from hockey over to music now, I want to switch things over to the Nanaimo International Jazz Festival, established a couple of years ago, and in addition to the festival itself, coming up this year, September 20th to 22nd, I know the festival has also put on other events, including a Have You Heard concert series going on now until mid-June, and you got a chance to play at one of those shows back in March. So how was that?
March 22nd. I had 4 great musicians with me, James McRae on drums, Claudio Fantinato on alto sax, and 2 from Courtney. Dale Graham, a wonderful vocalist, and her partner, Rick Husband, on guitar. And I was fortunate to have 4 wonderful musicians with me. I put a program together of 20 jazz songs. And it was very well organized. We had a superb reception, and no tune lasted more than 5 minutes. Everybody had a chance to shine, and that's what I was the most proud of. And the other thing I was most proud of is that we covered a wide variety of jazz stylings, not just one styling, but a whole wide variety, so the audience could be entertained.
I know that Andrew Homsey and the Jazz Festival Association have done a wonderful job not only bringing jazz artists here to town, but also giving opportunities for local professional musicians to perform as well.
I find that to be so critical because, as we all know, Nanaimo has a great student program with their high schools, their secondary schools, and VIU, but there has to be room for the working jazz professional in Nanaimo, and I have to give great credit to Andrew Homsey for the vision that he came up with to provide these venues for the top working professionals of the island and maybe a little bit of the lower mainland to showcase their great abilities in Nanaimo. And there's no reason why the students shouldn't have someone or something to aspire to once they graduate their programs and they see that, yes, you can work as a professional musician right here in Nanaimo.
Absolutely. Very well said. And one example of a collection of professional musicians, yourself included, really want to get information about the show. We can probably throw information about it on the screen right now. It's coming up at the MGM restaurant, an event called Nightlife, The Good Life. Tell us quickly about that.
The Nightlife celebrates the supper club music from the 50s and the 60s in the large cities like New York, Los Angeles, or wherever, where people went out to listen to great crooners and bands, and the melodies were finely written and the programs were just exciting to watch. So we're celebrating the music of that era. Various artists like Bobby Darin, Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra songs, and so many, many more. We're bringing a little bit of sophistication and elegance to the music for one night at the MGM.
Perfect. All right. And the night coming up again, the Nightlife Good Life, Friday, April 26th. We have the poster on the screen, 6 to 8 p.m. You can call the restaurant for reservation. Tickets are available. And last thing I want to say about it, and I guess this is also a big anniversary for you as well with the previous band 20 years ago.
Yes. The last tune I played, Stormhead, this is the 20th anniversary of the recording I made with my buddies, Larry Miller on sax and Todd DeKuyper on drums. The group back then was called NAVICA, which is an acronym, N-A, Nanaimo, V-I, Vancouver Island, C-A for Canada, which I made up. And Stormhead was the title track of that CD.
Very
and
cool.
It was interesting to play that. And we also played that at the Have You Heard series last month.
Perfect. All right, all comes around together. Marty, thank you so much for joining us on the show here to talk music and to play music. And I guess the song coming up now, a swing ballad called Dragonfly.
Yes.
All right, it's over to Marty Steele for you on the show on Shaw.
jazz is a great legacy, and you know what else is a great legacy? The volunteers that are part of the Seniors Connect program. On this segment, we're so excited to share a legacy project for our community called Age Friendly Business, which was originated by the HealthWell component of the Seniors Connect project. With me today is Lynn Henshaw from HealthWell and Judy Stephan from Nanaimo Voyager magazine, who's also one of our fabulous members at the volunteer organization Nanaimo Senior Services Network. Welcome, ladies. I'm so glad you're here. Lynn, how about if you give us a good understanding of really what is the Age-Friendly Business Project? What does it mean?
Sure. So it actually fits into a bigger project, which is Age-Friendly Cities. And that is a World Health Organization thing. And we're actually, Seniors Connect is aiming to get our city to be age-friendly. So we're almost there. We're getting there. Yeah. And so the Age-Friendly Business fits right into that. And when we say age-friendly, I mean, we are looking at older adults or seniors, but that also means that it's friendly for people with strollers, for people with hearing or visual impairment. So really, it benefits all ages. And it's about making spaces and businesses safe. It's about making them, you know, well lit. It's about, it's making the service respectful. And it's really, it's a bit of education and it's a bit of training. And in the end of the day, the business is certified.
Yeah, it becomes an ambassadorship almost, right? It's
Absolutely.
like it's that great share of our community events and what we're doing within the community. And you know, there's no one better to take this work on than someone who knows our city incredibly well. And Judy Stephan is a well-known lady in our community who does some terrific work. And so you're going to be heading up the brand new, completely newly developed age-friendly business. It's a very exciting thing, don't you think?
Absolutely. And I think the most important thing is that it's going to make businesses accessible to so many more people. Exactly. And it's a win-win for everybody. Yes. The businesses get an accreditation, which makes them accessible to, as Lynn said, not only seniors, but also people with disabilities, babies in strollers. Mothers can come in with their strollers, women, people who have guide dogs, exactly. You know, it makes it inclusive to everybody.
And what we want is we want a city that's inclusive, right? And we find that with the premise of an age-friendly community, we can easily achieve that simply by taking care of some very small little details in our businesses, right? When you're in the community, either of you can speak to this, what do you find the biggest obstacles are when you're doing your shopping? Like, do you, for me, I know me. I walk into the ends of racks because they're always placed in the wrong area, right?
Well, there's aisle width, there's lighting, there's cluttered pavements on sidewalks, easily accessible automatic doors, for example, are the type of things that we'll be looking at. And then in a restaurant, a larger printed menu.
Yes. Did you know, by the way, that it's 11 points is like the perfect ability? I still need something bigger. I need like 15. You hold back. And I know people can relate to that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some simple things that we as a community can do to make our businesses a little bit more age-friendly and to try to make it more comfortable for people in our community?
I mean, one of the simplest things is really sort of taking a look around, and it might be even sweeping leaves. Obviously, please shovel snow. Yes. Please.
Thankfully, the spring is, you know,
thankfully,
here, but even so.
Yeah. I mean, these are, you know, some of the simple things, but, you know, I mean, Judy talked about lighting. I mean, that sometimes can be quite simple. You know, these are just things that...
things are they?
But the respect too. So it's a little bit of training for staff. So speaking respectfully, and understanding, you know, not speaking too loud, and not saying honey dear, and you know, disrespectful kind of terms for seniors, or looking at the seniors, the person with them instead of talking to the actual senior, is very offensive, and disrespectful. So these are just training. things.
And the Nanaimo Senior Services Network is becoming one of the leaders in the community because it's an organization that brings both nonprofit agencies and businesses together in order to create some of these very simple things. Things like putting a pair of glasses on a counter so that people can, as you mentioned, you know, to read the menu a little bit better. How can a person become age-friendly? Is it a big, long-out process? Is it simple? What are the things that a person can do to become age-friendly?
You would need to go to the Nanaimo Senior Services Network a website, and there you will find all the information you need. There are forms that you can do a self-check to see how you rate to get the accreditation. And accreditation is very easy. And once you've done that, you get a decal for your door. You get a certificate for your business and a logo that you can use in your marketing material. And also the website will promote you, market you as an accredited age-friendly business.
And the best part is it's free, free, free. So you want to check it out. But before you check it out, you got to keep on watching this show because there's a bunch of ladies going to be kicking around a puck.
Thanks, Cathy. I'm going to talk today about female hockey. It's one of the biggest growth areas across this country. In minor hockey registration, the growth area is girls playing hockey. And one of the things that the challenges facing our local area is that we have a moderate number of girls. Most of them are playing on what's called co-ed teams, playing with boys, because that's the only place they have to play. This past season, there was a novice team, which is 8-year-olds, and there was a peewee team, which is 11 and 12-year-olds. And that was the only 2 girls teams in this community. Over 50% of the girls in Nanaimo minor hockey, and that's of about the 80 or so girls playing, were playing on mixed teams, not on girls teams. I've got with me 3 people, Nicole Trenholm to my immediate right, Azure Turner, and Kimiko Tomiyama. And we're going to talk a bit about a special event that's coming up. And I want to just ask you, Nicole, what Esso Fun Days and a free try at hockey is all about.
So Esso Fun Days is a program hosted by Nanaimo Minor Hockey with funding from Esso and Hockey Canada. And this is our 3rd year, I believe, in Nanaimo. And so girls can try hockey for free. This year it's 6 sessions on the ice plus one off-ice session, some information for parents, and there's equipment available for families who don't have any others that they can borrow.
So the whole intent of it is to get some kids who've never tried it, wanted to try it, especially girls, and without the barriers of cost and equipment and all of the other things. So it's a free try it. How successful has that been over the past 3 years?
Well, I'd say that last year's novice team is the biggest success. There were lots of girls younger than the 8-year-olds that I coached last year that tried Esso last year. But last year was the first ever time Nanaimo has had a novice girls team. 15 girls, almost half of them were brand new to hockey, like Azure, and they had a really great season.
Okay, before we talk to Azure, let's go through some of those clips that we have some photos of the past season. I think most of them are the novice team. There's a couple of girls on the peewee team. This one picture is, it looks like a large group. The novice team played at an intermission with the Vancouver Canuck alumni group?
Yeah, so that was the charity game for Loaves and Fishes Food Bank, and they invited us to be the intermission hockey game. So the girls had a lot of fun there.
Great, with people like Dave Babbage, etc. And the girls heading to the rink.
That was our one tournament in Burnaby where we got to play all girls teams because mostly the girls had to play against co-ed teams all season.
Okay, let's keep rolling. And the girls together having a fun time.
Yep.
And again with the Vancouver Canuck alumni. And these are 2 ends of the spectrum. Guys who have retired from pro hockey and the girls just starting into hockey. Good.
And that's my daughter, that she's playing on the peewee female team in a Richmond tournament.
So those are the two teams that we've had. Your team went up, the novice team, and played a team from Campbell River.
Yeah, so Campbell River doesn't have their own girls team at novice, but they pulled together girls from their co-ed teams to play us. We had a home and home, so this is us up in Campbell River, I believe.
Good. In continuation of a return game back here in Nanaimo.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk to Azure, who last year went to the Esso Fun Days. Can you tell me how that was for you and how this past season has been playing on the novice team with a bunch of other girls?
Well, this past season, last season, I tried the Esso Fun Days because my dad and my mom used to play hockey, so they were letting me know that if you wanted to try hockey, then you could go on the Esso and try hockey. So I tried it. I had a lot of laughs, some, and for this year, I played on a novice girls team, and I had lots of fun for my first year.
Kamiko, you and your husband have encouraged Azure to play. How was that for as a parent?
As a parent, it was a lot of fun. It was the Esso Fun Days are a fabulous event because it gets them out on the ice to actually try it. The year prior to last year's Esso Fun Days, Azure didn't want to have anything to do with hockey. She was in tears. She didn't want to have anything to do with it. And when she played last season, it was amazing. This is her all-time favorite sport now.
You were a girls team playing against a bunch of different boys novice teams. What was the key? You told me a little bit about one incident that happened during a game. What happened?
Well, there was this boy, and he always had the puck. He always got the puck passed to, and I always got the puck from him, and he had a meltdown about this because I kept on saying it. I'm like, should I or should I not? I will. And
so his ego took a beating that day.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We're going to just, that's something that really, you girls stepped up, provided to be role models for the rest of the girls that are coming in, and we're going to have more coming into the Esso Fun Days. The information's on the screen. If you need, you can contact the phone numbers there or contact Nanaimo Minor Hockey and get more information. Again, late April through till June. So how many sessions is that, Nicole?
6 sessions, and they need to register by April 22nd at the email address that's on your screen.
Great. Thank you very much. I think we have almost the end of the show coming.
I'm just hanging out with Howie here. Over one sec here. I'll just get in. Hey, sorry, Howie's getting in the way. Thanks, Brian. First off, I just want to jump in here real quick around here. Nicole, Azure, Kamiko, thank you both very much, or all of you, not just both, for being on the show. And I got to say, I'm also the PA announcer for the VIU Mariners programs, and seeing what the women's programs, volleyball, basketball, soccer, much more is done for the university and for those athletes. It's so amazing to watch, and for people out there, go see those games, but this is also a wonderful example of how people can get involved and not just learn the love of sport, the love of hockey, the love of recreation and good health all around. So thank you very much for putting that together, and yeah, congratulations for taking on that team. It's great to see. All right, now I got to say now, I'm also a hockey fan myself. I got that from learning to skate up in Kamloops, where you can actually skate on the ponds. Not so much here on the island where the Pacific Ocean doesn't freeze very much and you can't really swim with skates on very well. So that's why these programs are great to develop, again, that love of hockey. And to talk a little bit more about that event, I'll sort of penalize myself here a bit. As mentioned, it's a free event, so there's no need for coming across cash, across credit cards, or cross-checking. In fact, there's no charging at all, which helps for slashing your budget. In fact, the event is sparing no expense to help everyone out. And it's great for kids, if you're trying to hold them away from misconduct. And anytime you don't have to make major purchase for a minor, well, that's a match, especially when they can't sit around the couch complaining how boring their life is, especially unless, of course, they like roughing it out when they're camping. So anyways, if you're going to make contact to the head of the event to get more details, make sure there's no interference on your cell phone. Otherwise, you'll just be left holding the stick and be blamed for that delay of game. All right, now before this all goes a little more offsides, a huge thank you to all of our guests and all of our volunteers behind the camera in front of the scenes, our staff as well. If you have an event, cause, demonstration, hockey penalty issue that you'd like to bring to the program, if you want to volunteer, always looking for great Central Island guests, so do drop us a line. You can follow us on Facebook as well. Check us out on shawspotlight.ca and also search for the show on Shaw on YouTube for all of our previous shows. All right, before we go, showing off the versatility of our musical guest, Mr. Marty Steele, we're going to have a little bit of classical music to finish things off. The Mozart Piano Sonata in C. C, Senor, thank you so much for watching the show on Shaw.